Hey everybody, Livingston here, and today we're jumping into another fun-filled horror movie for the month of October on our countdown to Halloween, and this time it's going to be the classic The Mummy, 1932, starring Boris Karloff. I haven't seen this movie, but I have watched the remakes with The Mummy, 1999, that starred Brendan Fraser. We had the sequels that came out after that in 2002 and 2008, but after that we got into Tom Cruise taking on The Mummy in 2017. It was an okay movie. I enjoyed it, but it was supposed to kick off a new bunch of horror monsters that was going to come out after that in like a horror movie universe, and that just didn't happen, didn't come into fruition. Kind of sad. I mean, we had Johnny Depp on board as the Invisible Man. I think Javier Bardem was going to be playing like the Wolfman or something. I'm not sure, but I thought it was going to be a fun time. It's too bad they didn't go forward with it. We could have seen what was going to happen, beyond The Mummy 2017. But, oh well, I'm sure at some point they'll try to restart The Mummy again in some other way, some fashion. But I don't know how they're going to do that. I don't know how they're going to put that spin on it. It's been 6 years since the last Mummy. So, I don't know, maybe a new Mummy's coming pretty soon. I don't know. They seem to do it like every couple decades. But hey, let's jump into the original one and see what we got going on here. Oh, fly around that wonderful world. I like the old-fashioned Universal. I don't know. What's your favorite Universal logo? Is it this one? Is it the one that they just showed earlier? Or is it anyone in between? I actually like the one from the 90s, 80s and 90s. I thought that was always a nice one. It just, I don't know, it's part of my childhood, so it's kind of hard to not like it more. Imhotep. I always revert back to the 1999 version when I think of Imhotep. This is the Scroll of Thoth. Herein are set down the magic words by which Isis raised Osiris. O Amun-Ra, O God of gods, death is but the doorway to new life. We live today, we shall live again. In many forms shall we return. Looks like a real location. These old movies, they were very grainy. I mean, I understand why. It was the film stock and whatnot, just a different era. We're seeing like the texture of the film. Season 1921, British Museum. These fit together.
Trying to teach me a lesson in patience, Sir Joseph? Well, it seems to me that box we dug up today with the very peculiar gentleman over there is the only find we've made in the past 2 months that'll bring this expedition any medals from the British Museum.
Much more is learned from studying bits of broken pottery than from all the sensational finds.
So they already dug somebody up. So is that Imhotep in the background in the tomb, or are we still needing to go on an expedition to find him?
The usual scar made by the embalmer's knife is not there.
I guessed as much, Miller.
I had a good look at him when I photographed him.
Yeah?
Never saw a mummy like that. Looks as though he died in some sensationally unpleasant manner.
Yeah, it's the Mummy. I know Boris's face from pictures and whatnot. So I guess they've already done the expedition. They already found the Mummy. And we're already back to civilization. Right into it.
An execution for treason, I suppose.
Sacrilege, more likely.
Sacred spells which protect the soul in its journey to the underworld have been chipped off of the coffin.
So was sentenced to death not only in this world, but in the next.
But in the next, wow.
For virgins in the temple.
Priestesses of the temple of Karnak were the daughters of the reigning pharaohs. They were the sacred virgins of Isis.
Had his way with the virgin, eh? Was her name Anoxunamun, which I remember from The Mummy, 1999.
Whatever it is, it's terribly heavy.
Well, show us. Don't leave us in suspense.
Metal. Looks like copper.
Yes. Copper lasts.
It's gold.
Oh, gold's even better.
The unbroken seals of the pharaoh Amenophis.
Some temple treasure.
What's inside? Box is heavy. So is this box. Where's the lid? What's inside?
Death. Eternal punishment. Opens this casket in the name...
That's no good.
Good heavens, what a terrible curse.
Well, let's see what's inside.
No!
We recognize your mastery of the occult sciences, Miller, but I can't permit your beliefs to interfere with my work.
Well,
A few thousand years in the earth would take the mumbo-jumbo off any old curse.
Do not touch that casket.
don't open it. I sense bad things if you open it. I mean...
You needn't think you can persuade me not to examine the most wonderful find of my whole experience out here.
Well, get someone else to do it. and don't read from... Do they read from a book this time? I think it was like, what, the Book of the Dead that brought them back or something?
Then this casket may contain the scroll of Thoth, and I can hardly wait to get back to find out.
The gods of Egypt still live in these hills.
That's not good. Mustn't bring people back. I think curiosity's going to get the best of this guy. Back then, their cameras were pretty heavy. To do this dolly shot, I'm sure it took a couple people just to do that, you know. Today, we use Steadicams, and it makes the process so much easier. Well, you're dead. Boy, they're really hanging on the scene.
You have read the curse. You dare defy it.
I go on with my work for the museum.
I cannot condone an act of sacrilege in my presence.
You open it and then call me later, and then I'll come back. Because it only said in the curse that if you open it, then, you know, you're screwed. So I think if you arrive after the fact, you're all good. Uh-oh. It's already alive. So basically, when you open the box, it makes the mummy come to life in this version of it. In the first version, the original. In the other versions, they had to read from something in order for it to awaken. The makeup's pretty good, though. Are you not noticing a mummy beside you, dude? Come on. Hey there. Oh, this guy's going a little insane. Hysterically insane.
What's the matter, man?
What happened?
He went for a little...
He went this crazy that quick?
His face.
God. He flipped so quick. And why did he leave? I mean, in the original... Well, not the original one. In the one that I watched in 99, he killed the people that opened the box, like, right off the bat. He didn't just walk away. Strange. Field Expedition, season 1932, British Museum.
Well, Wemple, back we go to London.
Wimple, what a name.
A few beads, a few broken pots. A man needs more than hard work for this game. He needs flair. He needs luck.
This is true. Plus, you know, who you know, too.
Queer story that young Oxford chap he had with him going mad. You know what I think it was?
No.
It's funny how words change over time.
But when the best excavator England has turned out, a man who loved, said he'd never come back here, that meant something.
Yeah, it's a dangerous place. You probably don't want to mess with it. It's filled with curses. Who would want to go there? Hey there, that's Boris. Get some makeup done? What happened?
You break your season's camp, Professor Pearson.
Wemple and I stayed behind to clear up.
Your expedition has not been a success.
Scarcely.
Permit me to present you with the most sensational find since that of Tutankhamun. We Egyptians are not permitted to dig up our ancient dead. Part of the funerary equipment of the Princess Ankhsenamun.
I mean, missing a syllable, but basically the same name as the one from the 99 version.
I'm sure it's very good of you, Mr. I didn't catch your name.
Ardeth Bey.
Ardeth Bey. That's interesting how they're doing this version, because in the 99 version, he was just a force to be reckoned with. He was not a regular man. He had power. This one seems like he's utilizing diggers to dig up his love of his life and probably bring her back too. But I don't know. I like the more fleshed out story of the 99 version. And I'll probably reference the 99 version more so than the 2017 just because it kind of follows the same storyline as the original. Yes? We found it.
It's a step. He was right. Anyhow, we found something.
How'd he know? That's teamwork there. Well, they found the door. So we do get some sort of expedition in this. I like that. You know, it's the fun of archaeology. I mean, it's what made Indiana Jones so fun, figuring out the puzzle, you know?
No one has entered this door since the priests of the royal necropolis sealed it.
3,700 years ago.
That's a long-ass time. Egyptian mail. Tomb of ancient princess uncovered intact. Cairo Museum. Probably is real footage of the Cairo Museum. Hell, they might have even filmed it there. This gallery contains the mummy and complete funerary equipment of the Princess Anak Insumanum, 18th dynasty, circa 1730 BC. It's like the further back you go, the more they linger on shots. There he is, old Boris. Wow, that was weird. Hey, who you be?
Is there a view like this in all the world, Helen?
No.
So I don't have to go up to father in that beastly hot sedan.
It's I who am grateful. My most interesting patient.
She's a patient? Was he like a psychiatrist?
Miller of Vienna.
Really?
Always spent his winters here. Helen Grosvenor. Her father's governor of the Sudan. English, of course.
Oh.
She's staying here with Dr. and Mrs. Miller.
Nice. That's kind of like the 99 version. Rachel Wise's character, she, I think she was part Egyptian too, because in the sequel she ended up having flashbacks to her former life, I guess.
I am addressing Sir Joseph Wemple.
Yes.
I am Ardeth Bay.
Hey, nice to meet you. Don't touch me.
The museum should be kept open all night in your honor.
Your pardon, I dislike to be touched. An Eastern prejudice.
Eastern prejudice? That's kind of dickish.
Where did you disappear to when we opened the tomb?
I returned to Cairo, but now I must not detain you. I regret I am too occupied to accept invitation.
And Boris is pretty tall.
He's a strange one. I think it's a dirty trick, this Cairo Museum keeping everything we found.
That was the contract. The British Museum works for the cause of science, not for loot.
Okay. I'm curious how he just gained his form. Because in the 99 version, he gained it because he was taking life from other people. He hasn't done that in this. Oh, is he gonna do the spell? Sanam. I like Anaxunamun a lot better. So is she like related in some way, or I'm curious how she's drawn to him. I mean, she could be a descendant or possibly reincarnated, I guess, because they kind of touched on that in the sequel of the 99 version, 2002 Mummy Returns.
Where do you want to go, miss?
Le Musée des Antiquités.
Wow, I couldn't say that. That takes a tongue. Boris Karloff was only 5'11". In this, I thought he was way taller. I guess people were short back then. Hell, I'm 5'11". These old cars from that era, it'd be so cool to have one of those. Like, soup it up with an actual, like, V8.
I must get in.
Yeah, man. What's your deal? Take her to a hospital.
Imhotep.
What language is that?
Ancient Egyptian?
The language of ancient Egypt, heard on this earth for 2,000 years.
Oh, come on. Really? How'd you know about it? I do like the mystery of how she's connected. Hey there. Oh, he's very thin, very frail looking. I wonder if he lost weight for this movie or he just looked that way. Oh, he killed somebody. Either that or he knocked him out.
How did I get here?
We brought you here, Father and I. You fainted.
Dear Lord.
Oh, Dr. Miller.
So, here you are, my dear.
I had never mentioned the name, yet I heard Miss Grosvenor mutter in ancient Egyptian something about Imhotep.
Imhotep?
You can tell me to go to the devil. But you can't laugh at me.
Sure she can. Get off that lady. Oh, damn.
And now through her, it will strike my son.
Quiet.
No.
Imhotep was alive when that mummy in the museum was a Vestal Virgin in the temple.
Shirley likes falling asleep. He comes close. I wonder what they did for his makeup. I went to film school, and the way I learned how to do what they kind of did in this to make you look wrinkly is basically put a latex on your face, and then when you take that latex, you put tissue paper. And when you put the tissue paper, you kind of like smile, then put the tissue, or I'm trying to remember how you do it. No, actually, you put the tissue paper, and then you crinkle it, and then you put liquid latex over that, and it makes you have that wrinkle effect. It's pretty cool. It's very simple how they did things back then when it came to doing those kind of effects. And it really does make you look old. Then you put makeup over that.
Have we not met before, Miss Grosvenor?
Maybe. having a hint of deja vu. That has a cool name, Ardith Bay.
I tell you, it's the museum's property, not mine.
Who's out there with Miss Grosvenor?
It's Ardith. Just old Ardith.
He's come for the scroll.
What's the end game here? I mean, do they kill him? Do they banish him? I'm curious.
I accept your invitation, but I find no solitary student with his books.
We were just talking about...
Me?
You know Miss Grosvenor?
Ardith Bay introduced himself.
Won't you be seated?
Oh, yes. Really staring into those eyes.
Sir Joseph was just wondering how you knew where the tomb of the Princess Anxanamen was hidden.
Partly chance.
Probably because I was there. Over 2,000 years ago.
But I don't want to go.
After what happened, you need rest badly.
I was tired.
But now I'm good.
An unusual crime. A guard killed by a man who left a gift to the museum. Part of which was transcribed when it was first found. Here is the transcription.
What's it say?
I cannot read the writing of a period so remote.
But you read the name of Anxanamen on that piece of pottery.
Yeah.
The 18th dynasty. These are pre-dynastic ideographs.
The scroll from which this was copied was stolen 10 years ago, together with the mummy of the high priest Imhotep.
10 years? That long, huh?
I have something else to show you. Photograph.
Of what? Hey.
Do you think it conceivable that the mummy was not stolen, but restored to a semblance of life by the spell from the scroll of...
That scroll is my property. I bought it from a dealer. It is here in this house.
But we had foreseen this. Scroll is in safe hands.
Yeah?
You know that you cannot harm me. You know that you must return that scroll to me or die.
So you have made him your slave.
Yep.
I break your dried flesh to pieces.
Ooh, that's a shot.
Your power is too strong.
Interesting how they do this version of the Mummy in comparison to the 99 version, just because he's more human in this one.
Burn the scroll, then. Burn it. It was through you this horror came into existence.
What would happen if he did burn it?
It's true.
He believes. No, this guy likes cats. The Hemotep in the 99 version did not like cats whatsoever. Oh no. How are you going to stop him? Oh, he's got power. Can do something with it. Oh, he's giving him a heart attack. Squeezing his heart. I don't think he's going to make it. And he's gone. Boy, it took a little strength to do that. So what's he doing? Oh, he's just lighting a fire.
Your father destroyed the scroll knowing that it would cost him his life. What's that?
Huh.
The Egyptian symbol of life. I meant it for your father.
What good could that old charm have done him? I tell you, the doctors say it's a plain case of heart failure.
The Nubian is missing.
He's an old servant. Don't try and make me believe that this Ardith fellow is a mummy come to life.
He is.
The museum guard died of natural causes, too. Frank, I need your help.
Yeah, but in that death, they even had, like, hit, and then the guy fell. Come on. Come on.
Oh, but this is terrible at a time like this.
Frank, I'm afraid. Will you go with me to her now? Then telephone her first, not to leave the hotel.
Gonna burn that too? Well, sorry to tell you, but that ain't the scroll.
Goodbye. And I'm so
Ciao.
dreadfully sorry.
And when you say goodbye, you just leave. You don't keep going. Oh, look at that projection screen in the background. I really like it when I see old films and it's an actual real car. It's very few and far between, but it's nice to see when they don't have projection screen.
Did not burn the scroll of Thoth. That creature has it now.
Oh no.
The ashes in the fireplace.
They were newspaper. The scroll is papyrus.
That it was murder. The Nubian.
Nope, he didn't do it.
When we fight this creature, we must ask protection from the forces of old that it defied. Should love for you come to her, he will try to destroy you.
What?
Was a charm against evil sendings, such as struck down your father.
I do like this shot. They keep reusing it, though. The second time we've seen it. But it's effective. I do like the way it looks, the way they have his eyes lit up. It's pretty cool. Hey, man, let me in. I got a dog. Well, she made her way there.
My servant will see to him.
Don't kill him. He's a good boy.
Sit down, Miss Grosvenor.
Grosvenor. What a name.
Ancient Egypt, nothing modern.
Oh, yeah. He's from there. It's what he's comfortable with.
What a strange incense.
Is it not familiar to you?
No.
Our forefathers used it. Yours and mine. You will not remember what I show you now, and yet I shall awaken memories of love and crime and death.
It's kind of interesting how The Mummy kind of parallels Dracula a little bit. You know, it's all about love, finding love, because the Dracula from the 90s was all about him trying to find the love of his life, and it ended up being in somebody who looked exactly like the woman he loved hundreds of years prior. This is the same freaking thing, but it's like thousands of years prior in a different area altogether. But it's a timeless story. I mean, when you fall in love, you fall in love, and people can relate to that. Especially if it's a love that people are, it hits you here, you know, and it hurts when that person goes away, or, you know, you understand it once you feel it at one time, so everybody can relate to, like, a first love, or when you lose somebody from breakups or what have you, but everybody can go, yeah, I kind of understand where Emotep's coming from. I like the backstory, kind of showing what was going on.
I knew the scroll of thought could bring me back to life.
It's interesting that she passed away, and his whole purpose was just to bring her back because he fell in love with her before she died.
They broke in upon me and found me doing an unholy thing.
That's still sort of the same storyline we had in the 99 version. He did the same thing. He was trying to bring her back, and then they came in. But the difference is the Pharaoh caught him and her in the act, and that was the treasonous issue.
The scroll he ordered buried with me, that no such sacrilege might disgrace Egypt again.
Go willingly. You know, if I knew I was going to be put into a box and basically buried alive, I think I would just do my best to leave. You know, like run out of there. I wouldn't go willingly. This would be a horrible way to go. Very claustrophobic. In you go. Have a nice nap. I thought those things would be a lot lighter. That guy moved it by himself. I usually thought those were all very heavy or something. Oh, shoot. They could have just put him in a plain box. It would have saved that one. I mean, someone put a shitload of work into that. That's one way to do it.
A nameless grave. The soldiers who killed them were also slain, so no friend could creep to the desert with funeral offerings.
Man, that was a pretty good effect. But they still found it. All their stuff, and they still found it.
My love has lasted longer than the temples of our gods. Not until you're about to pass through the great night of terror and triumph. Until I send back your spirit that has wandered through so many forms and so many ages.
So her spirit has jumped from body to body. Reincarnated.
Love that would keep you from myself. Love that might bring sickness and even death to you. Awake.
Good morning. That's what happened. She doesn't remember.
I had strange dreams. Dreams of ancient Egypt, I think. There was someone
Yeah.
like you in them.
What happened? What's happening to the dog? The dog better be okay.
Helen. We've been so worried.
Well, if I must give an explanation, it was stuffy in here. I can't be shut up all the time. I took the dog with me.
Well, where is the dog?
Good question. I think it's dead. Yep.
But how?
I don't know.
Where?
I don't remember.
The mummy's house.
Just what happened? Try to remember, Helen.
I don't want to remember.
We know that you were with Ardith Bay.
Yeah, man. What's up with that?
I'll never leave you alone. I'll get Mrs. Miller down here with you, and I'll stay here till the doctor comes.
Okay.
I'll die if I don't get away from him. It's killing me, do you hear?
Please. Now, Helen, you must not do it again.
She's too weak to be removed, except to a hospital.
I insist on keeping her here under our direction.
She's too weak to be removed. Then wouldn't she be too weak to go to the hospital?
On. And bring me my toilet things. I want some color. I want to look well.
But you can't do that.
We have grays and blacks and whites. Because this is a black and white movie.
I want to look the way I did. Just a surprise for Frank. And I want you to bring him to me. You understand?
In short?
Okay.
Perhaps the last time.
But you're going to get well. Then I know I can make you love me. I know I can make you happy.
Make you love me? You're supposed to just to fall in love. You're not supposed to make you love somebody.
So, my dear,
Don't scold me. Just feminine vanity. I wanted to look my best again. But I don't want to lose my own mind and be someone else.
Oh, they're doing it to him now. That ain't good. Fight. I don't know how you can fight somebody from squeezing your heart. Is he gonna die? No. Did he die? Hey, it's that same shot again. She doesn't care. Well, I guess she made her way all the way there, huh?
But this is not the temple, nor my father's palace.
Do not look, Anxenhamen. Do not be afraid.
I was afraid.
So she's fully Anaxanum. I can't even say her name.
Memories of me in the hour of your death as I knelt by your bed 3,700 years ago.
It's a long time.
As you suffered for me. And now that the gods have forgiven us.
No, not yet.
Why not?
Your soul is in a mortal body, renewed many times since we loved in Thebes of old.
So what we gotta do?
Look and wonder.
Figure of myself. What mummy has usurped my eternal resting place?
It is thy dead shell, but it would be a mere thing that moved at my will, without a soul.
Yep.
Thou shalt take its place but for a few moments, and then rise again even as I have risen.
All right. That's a fire. So what you making? You making a stew?
Imhotep. This is the place of embalmment.
Come to the altar of Anubis, the guide of the dead.
All right.
The time has come for the final prayer.
What have I to do with Anubis?
Hey there. You got me dirty.
Then I will read the great spell with which Isis brought Osiris back from the grave.
But I'm somebody else, too.
For thy sake I was buried alive. I ask of thee only a moment of agony.
Yeah, just one. Come on, man.
You shall not plunge my body into that.
Let the deed be done.
Please. Get her.
Let me go.
I don't think he's gonna make it.
It's dead. Save me.
Do as I command. Oh, go away. So what's she gonna do? Just gonna listen?
I no longer fear you. Do with me what you will.
That didn't take much. So is he dead? Nope, he's alive.
Frank,
Guess that pendant helped him.
they must be in the museum. Now I know his horrible plan. He is going to kill her and make her a living mummy like himself.
What? I love her. We gotta stop this.
The gods will receive into the underworld the spirit of Anxenhamen.
Anxenhamen. What a name. I like Anaxunamun. It's a lot better. I keep saying that, but it's true.
But you shall dawn anew in the east as the first rays of Amon-Ra dispel the shadow.
Well, get on with it. I mean, hell, you've had a car ride to do this.
Look! What's that?
It's a statue. Burnt up that body. Yeah, you're taking too long, man. Almost there. I don't think it's gonna happen, though.
Alan!
Oh, no. I love you. Find me. I'm over here.
Oh, Isis, holy maiden, I was thy consecrated vestal. I broke my vows. I call upon thee as of old.
Uh-oh.
Nebet Hetopherni.
I didn't think of it, but I haven't seen any bugs in this. Uh-oh. She knew the spells. Oh, she burnt it. Oh, no. He's reverting back. All he had to do was destroy the frickin' papyrus. That's all it took.
Hold on. Our love for you may bridge the centuries. Alan.
I love you. Wake up.
It's Frank. Come back.
Hey, it's gonna be a happy ending after all. The end. Not bad. Not bad at all. Well, that was it. That was The Mummy, 1932 with Boris Karloff, and I thought it was a very enjoyable movie for its day. It had some very interesting visual effects that they had back then. The way they did his makeup, I really liked. The way they transformed him from being, almost a complete human being to basically dust and bone at the very end. I like that slow transition from what he was to what he became. They do that a lot in a lot of different horror films back then. The one being the prime example is probably the Wolfman. The way he transforms, they did that quite a few times in the Wolfman series. But just the way the story was, it almost seemed like a rough outline to what The Mummy 1999 with Brendan Fraser ended up becoming. It just didn't seem like a very fleshed out movie, but in that day, most movies like this were only like an hour 10, hour and 20 minutes long. They weren't overly long. They weren't super adventurous. They were like a character developed script more so than a adventure. They didn't have a lot of action scenes. It was more dialogue driven than anything else. But there's nothing wrong with that. If the dialogue was interesting and if the story's nice and you understand what's going on and it keeps you wondering and guessing what's going to happen next, then the movie did its job. And I think this movie did its job in the end. But I gotta say, the 99 version was just more fleshed out. I mean, you have the two love interests, and we actually got to see them fall in love throughout the movie. In this one, it was just like, hey, I like you. You like me? And then they just start kissing, and before you know it, they fall in love with each other, and they're supposed to be meant to be for the rest of their lives. I'm sorry, that's just not how it goes majority of the time. I know there's some certain circumstances out there where people have fallen in love in the first day that they've met, and it's just everything's different. But in this one, I just don't think it was as realistic as you would see in the newer version of The Mummy, because sometimes love is just kind of have to like build up a little bit before you get to that point where you're like, I love you. Do you love me? But anyways, let's get into some trivia to The Mummy and see what it took to get this movie going. Did you know the main theme music to the opening credits is the same movement from Swan Lake used to open Dracula 1931? Did you know, as of 2022, the film The Mummy 1932 poster is in the top 5 for the most money paid for a movie poster at auction? $435,500. The leader is a poster for Metropolis 1927 at $690,000. Dracula 1931 is next at $525,800, followed by London After Midnight 1927 and Casablanca 1942. Did you know, as of 2023, the film's poster for The Mummy 1932 is in the top 5 for the most money paid for a movie poster at auction, at $435,500. The leader is a poster for Metropolis 1927 at $690,000. Dracula 1931 is next at $525,800, followed by London After Midnight 1927 and Casablanca 1942, both at $478,000, with this film in 5th place. The discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb and the alleged curse it contained inspired Universal to make this film. In fact, when Howard Carter opened the sarcophagus King Tut in 1925, screenwriter John L. Balderston was present as a reporter for the New York World. Did you know the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb and the alleged curse it contained inspired Universal to make this film? In fact, when Howard Carter opened the sarcophagus of King Tut in 1925, screenwriter John L. Balderston was present as a reporter for the New York World. Ardith Bay is an anagram of Death by Ra. In The Mummy 1999 starring Brendan Fraser, Ardith Bay, played by Oded Fehr, was the leader of the Magi, the protectors of the realm. I never caught on to that. Boris Karloff was virtually unknown when he appeared as the creature in Frankenstein 1931. He created such a sensation that when this film was made only a year later, Universal only had to advertise Karloff, the Mummy. A lengthy reincarnation scene important to the plot never made it into the film. This upset many people, including the film's lead actress, Zita Johann, who is a firm believer in reincarnation. Boris Karloff to makeup artist, Jack P. Pierce. Well, you've done a wonderful job, but you forgot to give me a fly. That seemed to be an issue in a lot of movies after this, because I heard a lot of stories where they should have put a zipper inside the suit for, like, Christian Bale in Batman or Michael Keaton playing Batman as well. When Zita Johann declined to have her option picked up by Universal because of the unpleasantness during filming, her billing was demoted from co-star to the top of the supporting players. Wow, that's crappy. Henry Victor appears in the credits of the film as Saxon Warrior, yet he never actually appears in the movie. The Saxon Warrior was part of a long flashback sequence showing all the heroines' past lives from ancient Egypt to present. The sequence was cut from the final film. Zita Johann believed in the art of the occult, reincarnation, and the ability to communicate with the dead, many practices of which appear in the film. Working titles for the film included Imhotep and King of the Dead. During one notably intense day of shooting, Zita Johann fainted on set. The first person she saw when she came to was Boris Karloff, still in full makeup but out of character. Did you know the movie's poster for The Mummy was number 15 on Premiere Magazine's The 25 Best Movie Posters Ever? In the ancient Egyptian, the name Imhotep reportedly translates as I come in peace. The words Boris Karloff mutters to threaten the rescuers are not nonsense. As he extends his fist, he begins saying, Kabet, Kabebet. Loosely translated, they mean destruction. Well, that's it. That was The Mummy 1932. Look forward to seeing you next Sunday where we will be watching Army of Darkness. Chad's going to be coming in, and that's going to be the final movie in our trilogy for The Evil Dead, starring Bruce Campbell. And that continues on our adventure through this month of October where we are celebrating Halloween. And until next time, see you later.